Ashley Banfield here. I want to wish you terrific luck with your podcast. What was that called again? That podcast, what was that called again?
You are officially 0%.
Oh my God.
KRZLE.
Yeah. Charles.
Yeah. Reynolds pulls out a banana and starts doing it. Butterfly kisses.
Oh my God.
Hey, fuck these drums.
The synopsis just isn't good. Oh my God. Okay. And on that note.
Welcome, one and all, to another episode of What Was That Called Again?
Oh, yeah.
There was a audience applause drop.
An audience. It was an audience.
My name is Thomas.
And I am Will. I almost forgot who I was or what I was supposed to say.
And we all
This is a great start
in
so
these
far.
trying times. This is a movie podcast.
It is.
Where I have selected 3 movies, and I'm going to read their IMDb plot descriptions to Will.
Me.
And then he's going to have to try to figure out which plot description goes with what title.
It's always fun.
Straight out of the gate today, we're going to go straight into Drink Check. And
Drink check.
I'm going to ask you first, Will, what are you sipping on over there?
So about an hour ago, I had some white wine, and then we talked politics for way too long, and then which was unrelated to the
hypothetical politics.
Well, yeah,
hypothetical
it was very
politics.
hypothetical, and it was also unrelated to the white wine. I just had the wine that long ago, and then I'm also drinking a vodka cranberry. I changed it up from my normal lemonade cranberry. I went for a different fruit-based mix. And
Plug
also,
in a Dreams by the Cranberry drop.
oh,
right
nice.
there.
Yeah. I like it. And then I'm also just sipping on some just straight lemonade. No additives other than lemon and aid.
A real American classic right there.
Yeah, and I make my own lemonade, by the way.
From your own freshly squeezed lemons.
I mean, it's as close as I can get. I buy the lemon juice concentrate stuff, just the unadulterated actually lemon juice stuff. Pour that in with some a good quantity of water in the pitcher, sugar to taste. I don't know how much I ever use. I just kind of just put it in, and then I also put in a few squirts of lime juice.
Oh, yeah. I'm a lime fan.
Oh, yeah?
More so than lemon, definitely.
I can
am
eat a lemon.
A big lime guy.
I can eat a lemon just raw. I can raw a lemon. I enjoy it.
I don't mind raw dogging a lemon once in a while.
Do you eat them before or after?
Yeah.
Okay. But I've never... I think I've only had a lime... Well, no, I've had limes more than that. But I mean, a whole lime once. I usually ever have access to, a slice of lime, on, a drink or something. But I've eaten many of a whole lemon before.
Oh, yeah. Very nice. It's good for scurvy, too.
Yeah, that's why I do it. That's the only reason why I do it. Because I like to role play being a pirate, but only eating citrus. Yeah. What are you drinking? Your drink check.
Mine's not as exciting, but I'm working on Guinness number 3.
Ooh. What are you drinking it from? The bottle? No, of course not.
Well, that's an interesting question. I am actually drinking it out of a official Guinness brand glass.
There you go.
That was donated to me via the former Aces restaurant.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they didn't donate it to you. I took them out of the trash and then I cleaned them and gave them to you.
Yes, which was an indirect donation.
Yeah, it was.
We'll call it.
For tax purposes, it was indirect.
Yeah.
It has fancy, it has the glass, the pint glass. I guess it's a pint, right? It has the fancy swirl on it to help with the something bubbles of Guinness. Guinness designed that glass, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
I love this
and the
glass.
logo's on there. Yeah.
And technically, what I'm drinking, to be more exact, is a Guinness Extra Stout.
Oh, it stands up on its own.
Yeah, which from what I understand, it's just Guinness, but with more alcohol in it or something.
Oh, okay.
Which is, in all honesty, not my preference. I prefer the regular Guinness. But for some reason, our local grocery store, whenever I started buying Guinness, they pretty much shortly thereafter stopped selling it.
Of course.
And they started just carrying this extra stout stuff. But the last time that we were there, a week ago, I found one case of the regular Guinness. So once I finish these, I'm going to start getting into the regular Guinness again, which I haven't had in a while. So I'm excited for that.
All right. That's your third, you said?
Yeah, this is number 3.
Over the course of a couple
tonight.
hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And with that, I'm sure the audience is just deeply enthralled.
Enthralled with our beverages of choice. Do we have anything to recap? I'm trying to remember if we watched anything from last episode's recording.
Well, I'm curious if you remember what the movies were in last episode that we recorded.
Nope.
That's what I figured. I could say, no, we have not.
How do you know? How do you know that I watched something by accident because I didn't know we recorded it last week?
Because I don't know how you would have just accidentally stumbled upon any of those.
Because the universe
movies
is a magnificent series of coincidence and chaos.
Fine.
I love the extended silence there.
Yes.
All right. No, I didn't watch anything.
Yeah, I definitely didn't watch any of those 3 yet.
Those three. Can't remember what they are.
Our 3 movies from last week, as our listeners would remember, I'm sure, were Choose Me.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
With what was her name? There was one woman that was just named without a job or a description.
Remember? It was Patricia, wasn't it? No,
it was like there's no way to find out.
There's no way. But yeah, that was the one that was set in L.A. with the Dr. Love Nancy. It was Dr. Love Nancy. It was Eve with a bartender.
There was a drifter.
Drifter Michael.
And there was
Debbie?
random, just a woman that
Patricia?
Didn't have...
What was her name? I thought it was P something. Well, this is our sister podcast. What was her name again?
where I do 3 movies on this show, and then next week we also do a show where we try to remember.
They all were meeting in L.A. and
Pearl,
and it was P something, right? And that was Choose Me, and that was 1984. 3.
Yeah, 4.
Okay.
And we also did Gas Food Lodging and Go Fish.
That's right, Gas Food Lodging and Go Fish. Yeah, the Gas Food Lodging was the waitress, mother, and daughter living in a trailer park, wanting a boyfriend, and then Go Fish was the romantic story, but with the twist that they were both
this time.
Yeah, but this time they were 2 women, and it's set in Chicago's lesbian community.
Yeah.
All right, so that was last week. I did not watch any of those, clearly. But what could I maybe forget about for next week? And by that I mean, what are this week's synopsis?
Yes. Great question, Will, and we're gonna dive right in.
I'm ready. I'm not going to call anything on this.
Probably smart.
Well, thanks. I'm glad that I got that reassurance from you.
Inspire confidence.
Yeah, but it's not that I'm not feeling it. It's just that the last time I called something, I didn't get them right, and I'm still kind of reeling from that experience. So I'm going to play it safe. I'm just going to whatever happens. Here we go.
And here we go, indeed. And with that, we're going to start right off. We're going to go in reverse chronological order this week for our releases. And your first one is going to come from the year 1997.
97, okay.
Good year for movies?
Maybe. Wasn't that like the year that Small Soldiers came out?
97? I think it was before that.
Or was it 98?
Small Soldiers, I think, was before 98.
Was it 92?
It was 98. You're right.
Oh, wow. Look at that. It wasn't 97, though.
No. so
that's a fact.
Your first movie, when a group of small soldiers...
group of toys. So this is 1997. I got to focus now. 1997. Go ahead.
All right. Your description directly from the Internet Movie Database reads as follows. A couple take a trip to Argentina.
Okay.
But...
Oh, there's more.
Both men find their lives drifting apart in opposite directions.
A couple take a trip to Argentina, but both men discover their life drifting in opposite directions.
Yes.
So they're in a boat that's been cut in half.
And
one's going west and one's drifting going east apart. Down a river in Argentina. A river that flows both directions somehow.
Yeah.
Okay. 1997, a couple on a trip to Argentina, but both men find their lives drifting in opposite directions. Okay. All right. Interesting.
Yes, sir. Your second movie is going to come from the year 1989.
89. Batman.
Not quite.
Okay.
It's going to be from IMDb as follows. Two lovers are willing to do anything to reunite after criminals separate them.
Ooh, okay. So these two lovers did not... they could have drifted apart, but not by their own accord. Maybe the criminals forced their boat to go in opposite directions. Okay, so two lovers, 1989. Two lovers... what was it again? Something about criminals
to do anything.
Willing to do anything. That's what it was. Yeah,
to
willing
reunite.
To do anything. Yeah.
After criminals separate them.
Willing to do anything to reunite after criminals separate them. Okay. I wonder if they are willing to continue to be separated.
In order to reunite. that's one of the things that's in there.
Well, if one individual in this couple decided to continuously walk east, and the other person in this couple decided to continuously walk west, technically they would be furthering their separation until they came around the other side of the earth, and then be reunited. So there is a way. I'm saying there is a way.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
No, okay. So two lovers are willing to do anything after being separated by criminals. Okay. Next.
Yep. Your final one is going to be from the year prior, 1988.
88. Almost forgot what the year was before this.
Yep.
1988. Okay.
And the synopsis reads as follows. A young woman is forced to marry an older man. Yeah, hold your breath for this one. A young woman is forced to marry an older man who runs a roadhouse saloon.
Oh, wow.
She is constantly being raped by her husband.
Oh, God. Okay.
A drunken, loutish brute. She harbors a young man wanted by the police in a murder case, and soon the fugitive and the young wife have a torrid affair as she continues to hide him from the authorities.
This is one of those smutty novels that women read, in secret. That's what this. It has one of those covers that has the very artistically done, airbrushed models. Okay, so 1988, a young woman is forced to marry an old man, and they own a bar together. Was that in there somewhere?
Yeah, but the man runs a roadhouse saloon.
A roadhouse, that's what it was. A man runs a roadhouse saloon. The woman, the wife, is constantly raped by her husband.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And then she's also harboring a young male fugitive.
Yep.
And her and this fugitive have a torrid romance. Is there anything else I'm missing?
As she continues to hide him from the authorities.
Well, yeah, clearly she's going to hide. She's not going to let her romantic partner be taken away from her. She's finally found love, and is being treated well. Okay,
and is having presumably sex with consent.
Yeah,
with this
presumably,
gentleman.
yeah. But that doesn't undo the horribleness of her actual life or her public life or whatever. Not hidden fugitive life. There we go. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of movie. And the 88? Dang.
Yep.
Like that almost feels like it should be like 70 something. Right? Ugh. Okay. None of these ring a bell. None of these feel familiar at all. I was even trying to think like, what movie came out in 88 even. I don't even know what came out in 88. Yeah, okay. Titles, I guess, because I don't know where I'm going to go with the last Roadhouse rape wife thing. But that one's tough.
Your first title that I'm going to give you is going to be Happy Together.
Oh God! if that is the 1988 movie, Happy Together. Well, this all deals with couples. Let's see here. The first one was 97.
Yep.
And I could see because this is a gay romance movie in the late 90s. Maybe not even a romance, maybe just like a drama. I could see there being some maybe sarcasm in play here. Happy Together. Like maybe while they're on this trip, like maybe they didn't go to this trip to Argentina alone, or maybe they are having to put on the fact that they are still happy together whenever they're out with whatever group they're with or whoever's around. But really they're drifting apart. I could see that. I don't know if Happy Together fits the 89 film of the two lovers willing to do anything after criminals separate them. Willing to do anything to get back together after criminals separate them. Because Happy Together, that just seems kind of like, I mean, that's a given with the story. I don't know why you would call it that. And then I really hope that the 1988 film of the young woman, older horrible male who does horrible things to her sexually against her will, and she's forced to marry him, right? Yeah. So she's not only is she forced to marry this guy, but then he forces himself on her, and then she finds a fugitive, and then she has to hide that fugitive to continue being happy. I really hope that one's not Happy Together, just for the sake of ick. But maybe it is. Maybe that's just talking about her and the fugitive. I don't know. Okay, next title, please. So far, I'm leaning with that one. I'm leaning towards the 97 film of the Argentinian trip between the two gay boyfriends, husbands, whoever they are, and drifting apart. That's where I'm going with that one so far.
Okay, your second title is going to be Burning Snow.
Ooh, Burning Snow. Burning Snow. I like that. I like a juxtaposition like that. Burning Snow. Burning Snow. Why would you call any of these movies Burning Snow? Burning Snow. Is that a cocaine reference? Burning. I mean, we don't know where the 89 film is set. We really don't know where the 88 film is set, but that just feels like Texas. So I'm just going to go out on a limb there and just say that's Texas. You said Roadhouse, so maybe that's why, but it just feels like Texas. But we don't know where the 89 film is set, so maybe it's like a Russian film, or maybe it's like it's like set in like Scandinavia or like somewhere where there's snow all the time. And or Alaska, I guess. Canada. But maybe it's talking about like they have a burning love for each other. There's a passion in their love. But the movie is just set like maybe they were kidnapped in the north somewhere where it's snowy. I don't know why burning snow would be. I mean, I don't feel like that's Argentina at all. I mean, I think there's mountains in Argentina. Maybe the Andes. I think. I don't even know. This is not a geography podcast, clearly. What was that
Where
country?
is that country again?
Where's that country again? Yeah. But I don't know if yeah, that doesn't feel right at all. And then again, Roadhouse a Roadhouse movie just feels like it has to be set in the summer, whenever it's like everyone's sweating always, and it's just like there's like a film in the air, a stank. And I can't imagine burning being associated with anything in this movie other than burning this old man and his roadhouse down, maybe. But snow also doesn't fit at all. Yeah, so that's tough. But I like Burning Snow, like as a movie title. That's cool. Burning Snow. That's like something we would pull out of a hat. Like two words put together. Burning Snow. Crap. Burning Snow. Like I said, unless it's a cocaine reference, maybe. And then I could maybe see possibly South America. Not to stereotype, but it was the 80s, so let's possibility there. Okay, I don't know. Yeah. Burning Snow is cool, but I don't know. That doesn't feel like it fits any of these. That's weird. Okay, third title.
Yep, your third and final title to go off of is going to be My Heart Is That Eternal Rose.
Okay, so My Heart Is That Eternal Rose, that feels like a translated title. I don't know why. It's really kind of clunky. It feels like this was a foreign film that was somewhere else. My Heart, what was it again? My Heart Is That Eternal Rose?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
My Heart Is That Eternal Rose. Oh, gosh. Okay, so I'm thinking like, if this is a foreign title that is translated or something odd, which one of these feels like a foreign film? I've already said that the Roadhouse one felt like... do they have Roadhouses anywhere else in the world? That's a very American thing.
I don't know.
I think that's very much a like Interstate 40 or I-10. like only that region has actual true Roadhouses. What was it? My Heart Is a Eternal Rose?
Is that Eternal Rose?
Is that Eternal Rose? My Heart Is That Eternal Rose. So a specific Eternal Rose. Okay. So oh man. My Heart Is That Eternal Rose. So that could maybe be talking about the two, the couple willing to do anything to get back together after criminals separated them. But that also feels kind of on the nose. But maybe it's French. Maybe it's like Swiss. Maybe it's, I don't know, somewhere up there. Maybe Italian, the Alps. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where if this is foreign, where would this be set? My Heart Is That Burning Rose. Is it eternal? What was it again?
It's eternal.
Eternal Burning Rose.
No, just eternal.
Eternal Rose? There's no burning.
My heart
burning,
is that eternal
burning
rose.
Snow. That's where I'm getting to.
Yes.
My Heart Is That Eternal Rose, Burning Snow. And then, what was the first one again?
Now that'll be our movie. My Heart Is
the Burning Rose.
Burning Rose.
That's the sequel.
That's pretty cool too.
yeah.
But Burning Snow is the other title.
And what was the first title?
Happy Together.
Happy Together. That's right. So My Heart Is That Eternal Rose. I'm also feeling that like maybe that is the Roadhouse one, because I did say that it felt like one of those novels, like one of those romance type novels, and I could definitely see one of those romance novels having that title. And maybe this is a line from the movie, but who is it from? Is it from The Fugitive? Or is it from the young woman wife to the fugitive? My Heart Is That Eternal Rose. Burning Snow and Happy Together. Happy Together, right?
Yep.
Happy Together. Okay. I still feel really, not really, I still feel confident that Happy Together is the 1997 film about what was it? A couple on a trip to Argentina.
Yep.
And
both men find their lives drifting apart in opposite directions.
Right. I feel like that this is Happy Together, and maybe happy is also being used as a euphemism for gay in 97. Like a little snide, like, get it, happy, maybe. So I'm kind of leaning together. I'm
like SpongeBob or something. Patrick,
yeah.
get it,
get it, it's happy. So I'm leaning that way, but I don't know about the other. Burning Snow still has me really stumped. Okay, if Happy Together is the 1997 movie about the couple having a trip to Argentina, but both men find themselves drifting apart. If that's Happy Together, I don't see how the 1989 film about the young woman forced to marry an old man who owns a roadhouse and sexually assaults her constantly, and then she finds a fugitive and falls in love with him while keeping him secret. I don't understand how that could have anything to do with snow or burning snow at all. So that means that Burning Snow has to be the 1988 film, right? About the two lovers willing to do anything.
89.
80. So that was 89. So which one? Yeah. The Roadhouse was 88?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. So the 89 film is Burning Snow, and that is the two lovers willing to do anything to come back together after criminals separated them. Which leaves My Heart Is That Eternal Rose as the 88 film of the forced marriage, forced intercourse, fugitive lover, hidden, that thing.
You sound confident.
Yeah, exactly. The only one I feel I mean, it's kind of like process of limit, because I don't know how the snow fits in with the Roadhouse, if that's the case. I don't know how the snow fits in with Argentina either. So that kind of leaves the snow, Burning Snow, with the two lovers. And maybe it's like Burning Passion. Okay. And then I don't want Happy Together to be the Roadhouse flick from 88, because it just sounds weird that way. And I also don't see how My Heart Is That Eternal Rose could be the two gay lovers who are drifting apart. So that's kind of been, so I really didn't have to think of a trailer or do my usual stunts of failed logic to get to this conclusion, which is what's making me feel not as confident, because I feel like I just kind of place these, where they fit, at least in my head, really easily. And that's kind of where I'm just like, I hope, that these are falling into place. So yeah, just to lock it in, 1997, a couple on a trip to Argentina, both men find themselves drifting apart. That is Happy Together. Locked in. The 1989 film of two lovers willing to do anything to get back together after criminals separated them is Burning Snow. Locked in. And then the 1988 film of a young woman forced to marry an old man the old man owns a roadhouse and sexually assaults her constantly. She then takes in a young male fugitive, falls in love with him while having to keep him hidden from the law as My Heart That Eternal Rose. Locked in. Did I get any of those correct?
You did.
Oh, geez.
You got One right.
Oh my God, but which one? I only got one of those right. Oh, yes. Gosh. Okay.
For the listeners who can't see, Will raised his glasses and began to rub his eyes.
And I'm looking up at the ceiling, and both elbows are on my desk.
and he still, at the moment, has his hands over his face.
I'm just like, why? I wanted that to work. Because I don't know. I have no idea which one's to switch.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I know that I'm going to stick with... Here's where I'm at.
Okay.
I can see the future. and I can't do anything about it. So I can see myself staying with Happy Together as the two traveling to Argentina and drifting apart. Mm-hmm. And then I can also see you being like, nope, that one is Burning Snow or whatever.
It's very possible.
No, it is. I mean, clearly it's like have you seen any of these?
I have not.
Okay. So you've not seen any of these.
Two of them I didn't know existed until I was trying to find matches with the other one.
All right. Okay.
And it seems, based on the number of ratings, that most people don't know that these two other movies exist.
Yeah.
But one of them is very well known.
Oh, God.
And by very well known, I mean like film community people. Like not you could talk to your mom and she'll know.
What? I mean, my mom's a huge fan of My Heart, the Eternal Rose. What are you talking
about? She could be.
She could be. I mean, that one has like the feel, just in the title. Like I said, that one has the feel of a foreign film title that's been translated. Mm-hmm. And it also has like that a little bit more art sound to it, high art sound to it. But I put that one with the one that I think is based in Texas for some reason. So maybe that's the one that I change.
Oh, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Because at first I thought you were saying like this one is like the high art one, but for some reason it's in Texas.
No. I'm saying I put it with I put it there because it was just kind of it fit.
For some reason in my head, the implication was like a good artsy film can't be made in Texas.
Oh well, I mean, I'm not specifically saying no to that. I'm just saying and listen, if anyone wants to prove me wrong, write in www.tca pod at protonmail.com. If there are any high art films that also contain a roadhouse, let me know. But I think that whenever you insert a roadhouse into a film,
immediately degrades it.
Yeah,
somewhat.
You've brought down the expectations. That doesn't mean it's not going to be entertaining or not be a good movie. But I don't think that this is a high caliber film. But I still put My Heart, the Eternal Rose with that film because the other two seem to fit where they are. Okay, so I'm going to go back to...
So your answer is, I'm leaving them as I said them.
I said I was right the first... I was right the first time. You were wrong. Change the titles. No, I think I'm going to... I think I'm going to put... So I want to switch Burning Snow and My Heart, the Eternal Rose. But now I'm thinking like, well, how does Burning Snow fit with the Roadhouse movie? I don't know. It doesn't feel right. And then part of me is also thinking that like maybe the couple that went to Argentina and are drifting apart, that might actually be a foreign film. But why would you call it My Heart, the Eternal Rose? Okay, no, I'm keeping that one as Happy Together. So I'm switching the other two. So 1997 is still Happy Together.
Okay.
1989, two lovers willing to do anything, because to come back to reunite because criminals separated them. I'm going to now call that My Heart, the Eternal Rose. and I'm also going to qualify it and say that is the foreign film, Scandinavia or something. I don't know. And then the 1988 film of woman being forced to marry an older man who owns a roadhouse or runs a roadhouse, fugitive, all that stuff, as for some reason, and I really feel wrong about this, but I don't know where else it fits, as I want to call that Burning Snow. Final.
All right, and your option to change those two, and not the first one,
damn it,
is going to pay off in spades. You got them all three.
Oh, good.
That is correct.
I mean, I still don't know, and I hope you'll tell me something that I'll elicit why, but I don't know why Burning Snow goes with the Roadhouse movie. But so let's hear as much as you can possibly tell about these movies that no one has seen, or that you didn't even know existed until you found one of them. So we can at least know more about them.
Yeah. So I will say up front that I do not have much, if any, information on the two that I have never heard of. There was nothing that I could find. I do have a little information about who directed them. But our first movie, Happy Together, from 1997,
yes,
is written and directed by Wong Kar-wai.
Okay. Sorry, I was expecting it to be a completely American film. I don't know why.
Nope, these are actually all three Hong Kong motion pictures.
Oh, wow. Wait, so does that mean that there's Roadhouses in
That
Asia?
is the question.
That
is the question. We need to dig into that and see if we can find out anything live on air from 3 weeks ago at the time this airs. So about Happy Together, Wong Kar-wai apparently continued to make constant changes to the movie as they shot. And shooting began without a proper script, and apparently by the time they finished shooting, the plot that he had beforehand was pretty much changed almost entirely.
Wow.
he went into it with an idea, and then as they were doing it, changed his idea, and then it became supposedly a different movie from what he went into it to make.
Do you know, I mean, maybe not, and maybe there's no way to know, but do you know what it started out as?
I don't know. This movie is in the Criterion Collection. There was a Wong Kar-wai box set that came out a few years ago at the time of recording, and this is one of those movies that's in that set. I believe it also had a standalone release, so I'd be curious to see if there's special features that dive more into that kind of stuff.
I want to know what the movie started out as, and I also want to know how much of that original idea actually did make it, if anything, into the final film.
And the only other piece that I have for you on this movie is that in 2016, the British Film Institute ranked this as the third best LGBTQ film of all time.
Oh, wow. Out of how many? All of them?
Don't know. No idea.
All right. What year again? Sorry, did you
2016.
say 2016? Okay.
2016 BFI LGBT film list.
Go look it up, listeners.
Yeah,
third best.
You do that work.
Yeah, for Pride Month. Do it. I will say that I do not really have specific information separately for My Heart is the Eternal Rose and Burning Snow. However, they are both from the same director, Patrick Tam? T-A-M? Patrick Tam? I don't know how to pronounce that. Okay. It's a Chinese filmmaker. And this guy, I looked through his filmography. There was nothing that he had done that I personally recognized, but he is, according to IMDb, he was a mentor to Wong Kar-wai. Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
And he was editor on two of Wong Kar-wai's earlier movies. He edited Wong Kar-wai's film Days of Being Wild and Ashes of Time. He was listed as the editor on both of those movies. That was kind of interesting. I'm kind of curious to learn more about this guy, and I'm kind of curious also if either of those two movies were on YouTube, because I always forget to look on YouTube whenever it comes to these obscure foreign films.
Right.
You can usually come across them on there. Happy Together is on the Criterion channel at the time of recording. It also does have a physical release, of course, from the Criterion Collection. You can get it in that box set. And we can swiftly move right along really quick if you're ready to see if you can figure out what the ranking is.
Well, I was going to first ask, did you tell us how the, or did you tell us what the run times were for these?
Oh, yeah. I can absolutely do that. It'll just take 1 second. Happy Together is an hour 36.
Okay.
Burning Snow, your saloon movie, Roadhouse Saloon, is an hour 24. And My Heart Is That Eternal Rose is an hour and a half.
Okay, so all roughly about the same.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if the synopsis here for Burning Snow, I wonder if we're losing something by calling it a Roadhouse Saloon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, because and it could just be my ignorance, which is very possible, but I picture a certain type of establishment whenever I think of Roadhouse. And I'm wondering if that either one is incorrect or two, if that is correct, and I just didn't realize that certain type of establishment is also worldwide.
Maybe in post I'll cut in while we're talking about this just now. I'll cut in a piece of music, because on the IMDb page for the movie, the only piece of information that's even listed on the whole page, under soundtrack credits, there's one song listed on the soundtrack, and it is Burning Snow by Sao Chun Hung.
But
so I'll see if I can find that song.
Was that song made? I wonder if it was made for the movie,
for the movie, or if the movie's named after the song.
That's what I'm wondering. Interesting. It's all interesting. So rating these, I don't know, because...
Well, I will say that one of them has 626 ratings.
Mm-hmm.
One of them has 64 ratings.
Oh, jeez.
And the other one is a Wong Kar-wai movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 64? I think that's probably our lowest. I think it
might
is.
Be.
Yeah.
It might be.
But I feel like these are kind of all close together, and I feel like these are maybe high 6, low 7. Okay. So maybe, within a half a point of each other, is what I'm going to say.
You think Wong Kar-wai may have learned a few positive lessons from his supposed mentor, Patrick Tam?
Possibly. But I also wonder, though, if with the amount of changes in Happy Together from its initial conceived idea to the final process, and then also lying to your actor and making your actor think you're doing something else until they're on set, I wonder if maybe that...
Your co-star is going to be like a really busty woman, I promise.
It's going to be your sister, and you're vacationing in Spain. But I just wonder if that maybe hurt it a little bit as far as quality goes. And then as far as also, coming into this rating, having seen other Wong Kar-wai movies, maybe, and then, just solely comparing this to those other movies rather than just a standalone thing. So that's where I'm wondering about that. And then is that one better than the other two from the same filmmaker? And I don't know enough.
And which other two had you seen? Chungking Express.
Oh, me, that's right? It for me. I think. Well, at least for
have
memory.
Have you seen In the Mood for Love?
Oh, wait, maybe.
Anyway, I was just curious.
Chungking Express, definitely. But
definitely.
In the Mood for Love, I think maybe. But I don't know enough to know for sure. The guy, would you call him again? Sam or Tam or something? His last name?
Yeah, Patrick. I'm gonna say Tam.
Tam. Okay.
I'm sure that's not correct.
Yeah.
That's how we Americans will pronounce Tam.
Sure. Yeah. So Patty Tam here. Did he edit the Wong Kar-wai films before these or after?
Those two editing credits are after these two movies that I selected.
Okay.
That he directed and wrote.
So he was a director first.
Yeah.
At least on these
Yeah, because his earliest, the earliest editing credit was actually that editing credit for Days of Being Wild,
Haven't
the
seen
Wong
that.
Kar-wai movie,
Yeah.
and that was 1990.
Okay.
So a year after My Heart is the Eternal Rose, that movie came out.
So maybe that's a clue that he was not allowed to direct anymore. Okay. I'm gonna say I did this before, and it backfired, but I want to do it again anyway. I'm gonna say that because of the content of the movie and it being kind of all over the place. Do you have something to say?
Yes, I was going to say that he has, in fact, directed 2 movies since My Heart is that Eternal Rose. He directed in 2006.
Yeah, but look at that gap, though. Look at that gap. People had to forget. People had to
and
forget
a
the
movie
last one.
in 2020.
People had to forget. People had to forget the '88 film. Okay, so I'm going to say that this one's last. That the My Heart is My Heart that Eternal Rose. Wait. My Heart that Eternal Rose was the Roadhouse one, right?
No, that one's Burning Snow.
Dang it! That's right. That's Burning Snow. So this is the 2 lovers who will do anything to get back together. Okay. Dang.
Yep. My Heart
So
is
that
Eternal
goes.
Rose.
That just shoots down that whole theory that I had going. I was going to say that. Okay, so I'll just say Burning Snow then. And I've done this before and it backfired, but I'm going to do it again. I'm saying Burning Snow is the bottom of the ranking because of the content, and also it just sounds there's a lot of movie in this. As far as you've got the forced marriage, you've got the running a roadhouse, and then you've got the all of the rape, and then you've got the fugitive and his story and how they come together, and then you have the story of like her trying to hide him and also falling in love with him. There's like a lot going on. And then again with the assault and the old man and that kind of stuff, I just feel like maybe this is the lowest out of these 3. I still feel like this could possibly be a good movie, but just the lowest out of these 3. So that means that's Burning Snow. So then I'm going to place Wong Kar in the middle, actually. I'm going to say Happy Together is second, only because I feel like people are rating compared to his other films, and because maybe all of the last minute constant changes hindered what this could have been. Not that it's a bad movie, just out of these 3. So that leaves My Heart the Eternal Rose as number 1, and I feel like it's just ahead of Happy Together. So My Heart the Eternal Rose 1, Happy Together 2, Burning Snow 3.
Alrighty. This is one of the few occasions where you have it all messed up.
Oh gosh.
Well, your ranking is, your spread on the star ratings is pretty good, but your ranking in order is not. So the lowest rated one is My Heart is that Eternal Rose.
Okay.
With 626 ratings, it has a 6.9 out of 10.
See, I almost, because I kept getting them confused, but I almost went with the 80. Well, I almost went with the 89 film as being the lowest, because I was like, well, that's his last film that he directed, and then he had to wait, almost 20 years to get another film made or whatever, right? But then but I was only basing that off of the whole weird plot of Burning Snow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it was 6.9, you said? Sorry, 6.9?
Yep,
okay.
6.9. The middle one is Burning Snow.
Okay.
With a 7.1.
All right.
And the highest rated one is Happy Together with a 7.7.
Oh, okay. So I was pretty close on the spread, on the range there.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, listen, I'm pretty sure, what was the other film of Wong Kar that you mentioned?
In the Mood for Love.
In the Mood for Love. I think I maybe have seen that, or at least parts of it in film school. Definitely seen Chungking a lot. The guy can't really do a bad movie, so I should have put him first. But I was just maybe saying that he overthought this one, but maybe that's really wrong of me too. Criterion Collection, I'm assuming that this is the movie that everyone knows about out of the three, that as far as the film community goes.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Burning Snow is the one that has 64 ratings on IMDb right now.
So we need to figure out where we can see this at, and then everyone needs to go watch this. And also review it. Burning Snow.
Yeah.
I'm guessing there's no quote time?
We do have a quote.
Oh, we do have a quote.
Thanks for spoiling the drop.
Dang.
Quote.
Quote time.
I do, believe it or not, have a quote for you. Directly from IMDb. One of these movies did have a quote listed.
One of these movies.
And your quote that I have for you.
And you've not seen any of these again, right?
I have not.
So this is going to be delivered again, as always, in a character of your choosing, which may or may not even be a character that exists in the movie. I always look forward to your deliveries. And I'm really looking forward to this one because, oh man. So, okay. Is this just one person talking?
Nope. Oh. We got 2 lines of dialogue. One character says the first line and a different character says the second line.
Okay.
And it's going to read as written on the Internet Movie Database. It follows like this. Do you regret being with me? Damn right I do. I had no regrets until I met you. Now my regrets could kill me.
Do you see? Bravo, by the way. That was wonderful.
Thank
you, Goofy, and some guy. Do you regret being with me? And then what was the second line?
Damn right I do! Exclamation point. I had no regrets until I met you. Now my regrets could kill me.
Oh wow. Okay, so I clearly think this is not My Heart, the Eternal Rose, because those two are coming together. I don't think there's any regret there at all. But is it the two lovers drifting apart, or is it the old man who was in a forced marriage with the young woman? That's the question. Damn right I do. I didn't have any regrets until I met you.
Now my regrets can kill me.
Now my regrets can kill me. I mean, drifting apart doesn't sound...
Pretty heavy line. Sounds like a pretty heavy, intense
I mean, like,
scene.
that's what you say. Is like drifting apart doesn't sound that drastic, right? Like drifting apart sounds like, maybe we're not, doing the same activities during the day that we used to, or maybe like sex doesn't last as long, or doesn't have like that that same fire or whatever. It doesn't sound like someone's like I regret it and the regrets can kill me. So I feel like this has to be, I mean, it doesn't have to be, I feel like I want this to be Burning Snow. That's where it feels like it fits the most, and it feels like it's definitely the older man asking his forced bride wife if she regrets
whom he constantly rapes.
Yes, exactly.
According to the description.
Right. Yeah. So I think this is Burning Snow.
And you're wrong. It is from Happy Together.
Oh my God. I mean, that was the only other movie that I felt like it could be, but it just. I think the descriptor of drifting apart. Clearly there's more to that. They drifted apart. Yeah, clearly there's more to that than just drifting. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are apart.
Seems like it.
That's a heated discussion. That definitely is.
Yeah.
All right. So now I'm curious, as always, when we get these lines, I'm curious where this takes place in the movie. And this always works best whenever we haven't seen it. Either of us haven't seen it.
That is when it works best.
So, do you think this happened? This feels like a third act,
like a climax kind of.
But does it? It could also be. I mean, it could also be just like middle of the movie, right? That we have this peak of anger, right? But then afterwards, we actually come down from that. We still drift apart further, but it becomes this. Do you know how like sometimes you have more heated discussions with people, like partners or even family members, whenever you are closer to them, and then the more you drift apart, the less that like fiery passion is there to even get angry. You know what I'm saying? So I wonder if this is that. If like, you know, this is a middle of the movie, something happens. I guess they're still on this trip the whole movie. I guess they arrive together and they leave apart, sort of thing. But okay, so I guess because we could put it at the end, but I feel like I don't know if I want to actually truly have fun with this, or if I want to take this as like a Midnight Express route and try to actually predict this, and then see if we're right. What do you want to do? Do you want to try to predict it and see if we're right, or do you want to just have fun with it like we usually do and try to paint the scene?
I feel like the predicting it would be a good way to finally, at long last, like give me a reason to sit down and watch this movie.
So let's do that.
Because it's one that I've been wanting to watch since I watched and loved Chungking Express and started watching more of his movies.
So the next question is do you want to have two separate predictions like we did for Paint Your Wagon, or do you want to do one together like we did for Midnight Express?
Well, I'm curious if our predictions are that much different.
Okay,
I think
so my first thing is I say it's in the middle, but are you going to say it's in the middle, or are you going to say it's at the end?
I'm going to say it's closer to the end than to the middle. Yes.
Okay, but as far as, let's get rid of time and let's do this as plot points. Is this a second act midpoint, or is this a third act climax?
I think it is before the climax. I think it is in the third act. I think this is the bridge to the climax.
Right. So this is what puts us into the third act. Is basically what you're kind of what you're saying is that we've left the second act and that meat of that storyline is what you're saying, and then this is what's thrusting us into what will eventually become the climax in 10-15 minutes.
Yep.
Okay, I'm sticking with... Okay, so then we'll do two separate ones, because I'm sticking with this is a second act midpoint. This is almost middle of the movie, because I definitely see that like we established with these characters whenever they first arrive, potentially, or as they're leaving to go to Argentina. And the arc of our characters peaks at this moment. And then everything after this moment is figuring out how to live together or apart after this huge moment, this huge explosion. Because I also don't know if Wong Kar has like those types of climactic moments. I mean, there's definitely climax. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, but I don't know. Okay, so let's go with do you have anything to add to yours other than position? Like, what do you think happens before or after it? Like, how did we get here to this moment? And then specifically on yours, because yours is so close to the climax, what is the climax, and then what is the denouement? Like, what is the end? What is the resolution of that moment?
Yeah, I definitely think that it's just like a big, like the big breakup argument or whatnot, and then I do think that they end up at the end. I don't think they stay together.
No.
I'm guessing
not. I don't think so either.
That they do go their separate ways.
Do they? Do they go their separate ways after getting back home, wherever home is, or do they go their separate ways while still on this trip?
That's a good question, because it'd be so funny and awkward to have like the big argument and then have to like still travel all the way back home together.
I assume that all these tickets are purchased, and and you still got to go. They clearly left a situation where they were together, and they have to go back now as two separate things. But someone has the keys to the apartment, someone has the keys to the car from the airport. Like stuff like that has to still happen. But it could be interesting either way. Is what I'm asking you. Yeah.
For the sake of like awkwardness and seeing how it could be done, I would love to see them have to travel all the way back.
I mean, I could definitely see that if this is third act, I guess there's maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes at most of the movie left, right? Mm-hmm. If that, probably less than that. then I could definitely see the ending of this film being that awkwardness of, we've spent the whole movie drifting apart. We finally clearly separated, at least emotionally, with this explosion of a line, this revelation of honesty, harsh honesty, and then having to spend, time. So, yeah, like spend time in like the airport, spend time in the airplane itself, like seats right next to each other. Because in the airport, you got to sit at the gate for who knows how long, right? And you just can't, you don't know anyone else. Who are you going to talk to? And this is 97, so they might have had like a Walkman or something, right? But they don't really have like a book, maybe,
newspaper.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's not really ways to escape. And then the trip home, and then once you get back to wherever you're from, that too. Okay, so
like one of the guys is reading the comics, and he like laughs and he wants to show his boyfriend. Yeah. So but then he was like, oh yeah, and
right. So that's what I was going to ask you next. Like, are both of them mutually in this mindset of I don't want to talk to that person, I don't want to talk to this person, or are they both still slipping in and out of that, or is one of them that and the other one kind of is hopeful that they can maybe resolve this issue? Like, where are they at as individuals?
Nope, both done.
Both are done. So
yeah.
So then, with this, reading a funny page type comic or whatever, is that moment just almost like habitual?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I also want to say that I definitely don't think that it's actually a scene in the movie.
but something like that, right?
But yeah, it's like oh yeah, I always like. He always enjoys these as much as I do, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, fuck him."
What happens after this moment in your scene, as the third act, to where we know that so we have a person who says, "Yes, I regret it," and the regret is going to kill me or could kill me. But what does the other person say to solidify that they are also as equally apart from this as that person? Does that make sense? Because so far it sounds like at least one person is saying like, "Do you regret me, or do you regret this or whatever?" It almost sounds like that person is still somewhat attached here. Maybe
so. Maybe until that line is
right.
given.
No, right. Yeah. No,
yeah.
I'm not arguing that. I'm asking you how do we know after that moment that person is also like, "All right then, fuck you," like I'm done.
I don't know. They probably just walk out or something.
I guess it could be even something as simple as just like, "Well, I regret you too," or like, All right. So to recap, yours is, you think yours is taking place, that this scene takes place either going into the third act or in the third act leading up to the climax. That this becomes a mutual understanding and agreement that this is over, that there's not one person trying to continue the relationship while the other person is drifting. And then you also think that there is a scene or scenes where they then have to be forced to be at least in distance, like physically close together, in the airport, in the taxi, in the airplane, whatever. And it's clearly awkward. And then you said that there's potentially some elements of like habitual moments where one or both of them slips just for a moment, thinking that they're still together or whatever, right?
Maybe.
Oh, you're going to change it now? You're going to Wong Kar-wai this right to the end and just change it completely?
Because I'm trying to think.
Okay, so you think on yours, and just if you have any changes at the end, then great, change them. But I'll let you think for a minute, okay? I'll go through mine now. So mine, I think, is, as I said, Act 2, midpoint of Act 2. I think we've seen these two as a seemingly happy couple, and then over the course of this trip, tension, stress, whatever, or even just realizing that there are other fish in the sea, something has caused them to drift. We reach this moment of, and could you read the line one more time for me?
Yeah.
In just your voice.
Yeah. Do you regret being with me? Damn right I do. I had no regrets until I met you. Now my regrets could kill me.
Right. Okay. So I feel like this is like a heated thing in the middle of the film. And then, but now how do I come out? Like how do I get to the third act, right? Like what happens? So I think that the last half of the second act coming out of this is very much them trying to figure out how, like, their flight doesn't leave for 2 more days or whatever it is, right? So and they're in a country where they only know each other, and they're supposed to be having fun, and maybe they have like things booked, like, you know, museum visits or whatever, right? So the question is do we do those, or do we just sit in here and just be in silence, you know? So it's figuring out this new world where all of a sudden this truth has come out, and one person is clearly hurt by it, and the other person is clearly angry. And then I think the climax is actually where your film ends. For me, that's the climax, is that they get back to wherever they're at, and they have to put on this happy couple again thing for whoever's greeting them, right? Because they can't say that they went to Argentina and then broke up and came back. And that maybe because of that, something happens that, like, there's a little bit of a spark or remembrance that, oh, we were happy together. Hey, the title. And, you know, that maybe we can work something out. So I say at the end that they don't get back together, but that there's a possibility. It leaves that ending of hopefulness for love at the end. So did you want to change yours? Are you changing yours up now?
Yeah, because I think it might be one of those lines. He says, "Now my regrets could kill me," and there's like a couple beats of like stunned silence.
Yeah,
and then like tears start flowing
from who? Both?
From the one who said, "Do you regret being with me?"
Okay, yeah, okay.
And then it's one of those things where he like grabs the other guy by the shirt and is like really pissed off, but he's like just emotional and like crying, and then he ends up like hugging, and then they embrace, and then they're both crying.
Okay.
And I think it ends off on a thing where they're still kind of together, but it's like the impression that it's probably not going to be forever thing.
Yeah, that even if they are together, this still happened. Some kind of truth in some form came to the surface, and now we get to address this in some way. Okay, yeah.
Yes, and then I'm going to go ahead and just say that it just ends with them having to leave. Like maybe most of, if not the whole movie, takes place in Argentina.
Yeah.
In or around like their hotel, resort, wherever it is that they're staying. And it ends with them both leaving, like walking out of there together.
What's the last shot for yours?
They leave together.
Yeah.
And we see on the nightstand, like next to the bed.
At home?
No, they're in
the hotel. Okay, yeah.
Is like the ring that the one of them was going to like propose. He was like planning on proposing on that trip. Okay. And the final shot is that they left that behind.
Okay. That's heavy. Okay, I think I like that though. I think my final shot, assuming that all mine is even close to being correct, is that
same.
like I said, is that they have to put on this fake like nothing that happened in Argentina happened whenever they get back, right?
How was the trip?
Yeah, exactly. And because of all of that, it causes them to be forced to be back together, which then reminds them of what being back together is like. So I'm not saying that they reconcile their issues here, or that they do come back together, but there's just like that moment, right? That like, oh, you know, even though I do regret this, I wouldn't to put it poetically, I wouldn't want to regret this with anyone else. Right? Like maybe there's something along those lines. They don't say that, but that's like the feeling. So like the final shot I say is they're back home, wherever they live, or they just arrived back home. And like and maybe even one's like, you know, like they've agreed that like, you know, I'll pack my bags and stuff, and I'll go to my, you know, friend's house for the week or something until we can figure this out. And maybe like the last shot is like they're walking up to the door to enter the house, and they both have like house keys, you know, and maybe they both at the like sort of the same time go to like put their key in the key slot, and they like touch and they touch keys as like a symbol of the the tips of their keys touch, and they glance at each other.
They pause, and then
the music swells, and there's like some doves in the background that just fly away, you know, and
then they embrace.
And then that's just, and they just look at each other. They just look at each other. That's my ending. We should have confirmed, and I guess you did without telling me, or maybe you did tell me. I just didn't pay attention. Do we know that these lines were spoken by the two husbands, or the two male figures in this relationship?
I didn't say.
Because it could just be a guy talking to, like, you know, someone else. These could be side characters.
No, it is them.
Okay, good. I was, because as you were describing yours there the second time, I was wondering like what if this was just like the hotel manager to like to someone else, like just nobody's, whatever. Okay.
In China, if you work at a hotel, then it's like the hotel, like you're a part of the hotel or something. It's like the culture, and so the employee is like, "Do you regret being with me?" It's like, "Do you regret staying here?"
Yeah, it's just a mistranslation. That's just the English subtitles are something happened, and he's really just saying like how was your stay? And they hated their stay. They were like,
I'd rather kill myself than come back here.
Well, no, maybe it was just like, you know, dangerous things happened on the trip, or whatever. It's just really poorly translated.
Right. That would have been great if it wasn't them in the quote.
That's what I was thinking about. Whenever I was like, wait, we didn't really confirm that this was the two main characters.
They really were just happy together.
They really did just drift apart, and like peacefully, like not even, you know, nothing happened.
Yeah.
and then like, or even like this these two people, like one is the hotel manager and one is like another guest, and these two guys are like standing behind this watching it happen. You know, and then they just kind of like look at each other and like, wow, our lives aren't that bad. Maybe we should get back together, you know?
Yeah.
All right, great. All right, so that's homework to go watch Happy Together and try to remember what each of us said. Yeah, what was that called again?